Full moon in Sagittarius on the 23rd of May 2024 at 14:53. That's here in the UK, so adjust for your time zone. So full moon in Sagittarius, this is when the sun is opposite the moon, which is in Sagittarius, and this lunation, it will be at 2 degrees. Let me see my chart. 2 degrees, 55 minutes. I'll share a chart shortly. Welcome to my channel. I'm Debbie. I am a Western tropical consulting astrologer using the whole sign house system. And I love to share the new moon and full moon videos about the lunations. And I also love to work with clients looking at your personal birth chart. So welcome to my channel. If you're new here, like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Comment below if any of this resonates with you. And yeah, just enjoy my interpretation here of this full moon in Sagittarius, which may be bringing together topics that began around the new moon on the 13th of December 2023 to a culmination point, to a point of visibility or potential completion at this time of the full moon. So what I'm planning to do in this short video is show some images of Sagittarius, the archer, and also of Zeus, Jupiter, the ruler of this lunation. And then I may give very short interpretations for all the signs of the zodiac. So welcome here, and bear with me as I now share my screens. I always like to start my readings here on YouTube with some imagery, just so that we can tune into what's going on in the heavens. And this is a beautiful image showing the full moon and the glyph of the arrow of the archer, which is the glyph of Sagittarius. So what can we say about Sagittarius? Sagittarius is the half man, half horse image. It's the archer. It's Chiron, really, the half man, half horse, but he's aiming his arrow high into the heavens. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign, and it's a yang or masculine energy. All fire and air signs are a yang or masculine energy. Fire is fueled by the air, and these are both of the mutable nature of the Gemini and Sun at this full moon in Sagittarius, and which is a mutable air sign, fueling the fire of the mutable Sagittarian energies. Here's a couple more images. I like this powerful image here of the warrior S. And the symbology of aiming the arrow high into the heavens is really one of seeking truth finding, aiming the arrow to achieve a destiny, to travel somewhere, to find truth and understanding, because it's the higher mind, the house of God, the 9th house, which is the house of God. I don't know why I mentioned that. That is the chart of the heavens, and this is another image, more of a more traditional archetypal image of Sagittarius, the archer. Have I got any more? I don't know. I think I've got one of Zeus. Where are you, Zeus? Oh, I like this one too. This is lovely. And actually the purple and pinky hues and the constellations over here are very symbolic of what's going on in the heavens. As above, so below. As human beings, we're part of this cosmos. We live on the earth. We feel the lunations. We feel the cycles of the moon, which cause the pull of the tides, for example, and also the menstruation cycles. So as the moon has an effect on our physical bodies, so do the planets. They can reflect and send out energies, and we as human beings have choices on how we can choose to use these energies within our charts. I love this one here. Nice silhouette of the archer at this full moon. I should have one with Zeus somewhere. No. Oh, there he is. Powerful Zeus. This is Jupiter, Zeus, god of gods. He is the ruler of Sagittarius. He's the largest planet of the solar system. So he is ruling this lunation, and I'll go back to the chart to show the map of the heavens at this time of year. Again, if you're interested in my sharings here, please press the subscribe button, like or share or comment below. So I've shown you the images here. And now I think I'll bring up the chart of the heavens. Here we go. So here is the chart of the heavens. I get my annotate tool. So at the time of the full moon, this is when the sun and the moon are in complete opposition. And here is the sun in Gemini, recently just gone into Gemini a couple of days ago, I believe on the 19th of May. So there's 30 degrees in each sign of the zodiac, and the sun is now at 2 degrees 55 minutes. And the moon is directly opposite at 2 degrees 55 minutes in Sagittarius. This is the case with all full moons. The moon is always opposite wherever the sun is. And at new moons, the moon and the sun are conjunct or conjoined. That means at the same degree or within an orb. But at new moon, they would be at the exact same degree and minute also of the same sign. So there's the opposition here happening. What else have we got happening? Let me just circle Jupiter. Jupiter in the heavens. This is a sort of beneficial feeling because we have Jupiter, the greater benefic, the one that looks like a number 4. That is the symbol of Jupiter at 29 degrees 26 minutes, conjoined with the less benefic Venus, the symbol of women, or the Coptic cross in the Egyptian symbology, as Horus carries the Coptic cross into the underworld, the afterlife. So Venus is also at 29 degrees here. So this is the greater benefic, as in beneficial planet. This is an old ancient astrological term, benefic being beneficial, and malefic, which rules Saturn, the greater malefic, and Mars, the lesser malefic planet. So at this time of the full moon in the heavens, we have Jupiter and Venus at 29 degrees, conjoined or conjunct. So these energies can potentially bring a sense of expansion, positivity, growth, harmony, good fortune, appreciation, expansion, and exaggeration. It's all in Taurus, the very last degrees of Taurus, which is a fixed earth sign, and Venus rules this sign of Taurus. So she's at home in her temple, allowing to support, bring union, appreciation, gratitude, peace, love, harmony, and Jupiter tends to exaggerate, enhance, inflate, bring positivity and a sense of growth and optimism. So at the time of this full moon, so there could be a lot of truth actually coming up. Truth, because Sagittarians love to be honest and truthful, sometimes to our detriment, putting our foot in it if we're too honest without thinking. So potentially, though, this is a really lovely aspect, having the ruler of this lunation, Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, conjunct with Venus in her temple of Taurus, which is a beautiful, harmonious place, sending their energies over this full moon. And as I said, projects that may have began around, I think it's the 13th of December 2023, at the time of new moon, if you reflect back 6 months, what was prevalent? What were you starting off in your life at that point? What new projects? What was simmering? Because at the full moon, 6 months later, these topics can come to a sense of fruition and completion or be illuminated. What's also going on in the heavens is Pluto here at 2 degrees exactly retrograde. You can see the R here. That means Pluto has now stationed and is reversing his direction as viewed from our geocentric viewpoint on Earth. It's actually an optical illusion, but as far as the astrology, Pluto is now going backwards. But Pluto is in a, I have to circle the moon at 2 degrees Sagittarius. This is called a sextile aspect here. So there's a flowing energy between Pluto and the moon in Sagittarius, Pluto in Aquarius, which is an fixed air sign, to the moon in Sagittarius, which is the mutable fire sign. So air and fire work together. The air fuels the fire. Pluto is the god of the underworld, Hades. and he can be bringing up truth that's been hidden. Something that's been kept down may be coming up. So truth may be being revealed around this time of the full moon in a way that can be cathartic, healing, and transformative, because Pluto also represents death, endings, rebirth, purging, release, and purification in order to start again. Because the archetypal story of Pluto was he abducted Persephone from the earthly realms and took her to the underworld, where he raped her, but fell in love with her and wanted to make her his wife. And Demeter, the earth mother goddess, became distraught at not being able to find her daughter Persephone, and she turned the earth barren. So all signs of life disappeared during her mourning period. But eventually Pluto and Demeter made a pact to allow Persephone to return to the earthly realms when signs of life, growth, leaves, budding, beauty, abundance, and fruition showed itself during the spring and summer on Earth, and then autumn, winter. Persephone returns to Hades' kingdom in the underworld. So this symbolic representation of Pluto means, power. There can be senses of some power issues, control, secrets, the taboo coming to the surface at this full moon. And Sagittarius does love truth. So there could be some flow of some hidden agendas coming to the surface at the time of this full moon. And at the same time as Pluto sextiling the moon, which is the nature of Venus, one of the benefic planets, Pluto is also trining the sun up here in Gemini, and the trine is an aspect, the nature of Jupiter. So again, it's a flowing aspect. Again, air to air, that's a trine energy between these elements of fixed air, which is the Aquarius symbol. The symbol of the water carrier, people get confused thinking that Aquarius is a water sign. But today, as I gave a reading for a client, actually, if you think about these jaggy lines, think about them as more like lightning bolts in the air, electrical activities, because Aquarius is about new ideas. So air to the air of Gemini, sign of the twins, the mutable yang masculine air sign symbolized by the twins here. That's air to air. So there's a beautiful flowing aspect from Pluto trining the sun whilst sextiling the moon here, which is a very positive aspect for healing, release, and energy flowing here in ease and support. However, one thing I would say also, let me remove these lines here because it's looking really busy. There are planets, and in ancient astrology, they are called the anaretic degrees. So Jupiter and Venus are at the anaretic degree. This is 29 degrees of a sign. It's a critical degree, and it's a placement where the planets are almost into the next sign of the zodiac, but they're not quite yet there yet. So it can be a sort of frictitious feeling, a sort of slightly tense, stressful position. And also Neptune here is at 29 degrees of Pisces before going retrograde. So these are three planets that are at the anaretic degree at the time of this full moon. So while there's positivity and flow, there's also potential little stressful energies in the heavens. And life isn't all ease and flow. We need a good mix of both to appreciate when we're being blessed and when things are going smoothly. And obviously through slightly stressful, challenging times, we have to dig deep, work things out, and navigate more challenges. So just to be aware, while there's benefits and flow happening between Pluto and the moon and the sun, and the fact that Jupiter is ruling this lunation of the full moon in Sagittarius, which is bringing topics to an end, which began on the 13th of December. There are some anaretic degrees of Neptune, which is the planet related to the higher mind, spirituality, faith, hope, trust in the universe, high imagination, creativity, romance. It's to do with if you think about beautiful photography, film, dance, poetry, all of these beautiful things, spirituality, trust in other realms other than the 3D earthly realm. And then, yeah, we've got Venus up here in her temple of Taurus, which, you know, is about stability and security and appreciation. Having gratitude, you know, for all that we have in our lives can really help us through tricky times. Gratitude for the appreciation of our homes, our family, our friends, for Mother Earth herself, and the abundance and the beauty that we are blessed to live amongst during challenging times also can help us through any tricky times that we feel. So that's just a wee look at the heavens there, and yeah, at this time of the full moon. So what I might do now is just bring up the charts for the various signs of the zodiac and give very short interpretations of where the full moon is activating different areas in your chart. Again, press the like and subscribe button if you like. Buy me a coffee if you like. You don't need to. I've actually just made my own here. Actually, it's a decaf. Can you see it? Yeah, decaf oat cappuccino. Yeah, so I'll just pause the screen and bring up the Aries ascendant. If you know your time of birth, you can look for your ascendant. If you don't know your time of birth, you can listen in for your sun or your moon sign. These are called the astrological triads in our charts. And also, I was about to say, but forgot to say, if you have any planets that are close to the, so probably between 0 and 5 degrees of the mutable signs of the zodiac, you may feel this full moon more strongly, because the mutable signs of the zodiac are Virgo, which is mutable earth, Pisces, which is mutable water, Sagittarius, which is mutable fire, and Gemini, which is mutable air. So as you can see, if you've got any natal planets in your chart, if you've had your chart done, and you know that you've got planets around these areas, these are going to be conjunctions or squares or oppositions, which may make this full moon in Sagittarius more dynamic for you. So hi there, Aries ascendants, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. As you can see, this lunation is happening in your 9th house of Sagittarius, with the sun in the 3rd house of Gemini. So all full moons are in opposition, the sun and the moon. Sun is sending out light, the moon is reflecting this light. And this could be topics that you planted seeds for back on the 13th of December, 2023, at the new moon in Sagittarius. So the moon in the 9th house is known to be the house of God. It's related to the higher mind. It's about further education or studies that involve your sense of belief systems, spirituality, religion, can involve pilgrimage. It also is related to being the house of the joy of the sun and the house of God. So it can be related to overseas journeys, other cultures. There's something being illuminated here. Maybe things are coming to fruition that started back at the new moon in Sagittarius on the 13th of December. Jupiter is just about, we're going to have a Gemini party, everybody. The sun's just moved into Gemini. Venus and Jupiter will be joining, and so will Mercury quite soon. I think it's the 26th of May, Jupiter will go into Gemini for one whole year, because Jupiter spends about 1 year in each sign of the zodiac. So Jupiter is here sitting in your 2nd house, which is about your resources, your skills, your finances, what you're able to do for yourself to create security. And there was recently a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus around the 20th of April, starting a new 14-year cycle. So what has been started, that's beginning to unfold as far as your skill set, and also what's come into view, to you know, this public view up here, with the moon illuminating these topics. And Mars, your ruler, is in your 1st house of Aries, very powerful and dynamic. Recently been conjoined with Chiron, healing wounds. Chiron as well, he's actually not reached Chiron yet, but we've had a lot of energies around the solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April, where Chiron and the sun and the moon and Mercury, I think, were all conjoined. So there's a sense of you using your power, your dynamism, Aries, with this Mars in Aries in his temple, because he rules Aries, healing some wounds around your own abilities here, and your sense of being able to use your skills and allow things to unfold. So something up here, it might be to do with long distance journeys, it might be to do with other overseas topics, it might be to do with further education or spirituality. Some of these topics may be coming to the fore for you right now. So I hope that's helpful. Press the like and share or subscribe, or let me know if any of that resonates with you. Hey there, Taurus ascendants, sun or moon if you don't know your time of birth. As we can see, we have this full moon in Saggitarius, which is across the axes which are related to your resources. The sun is in your second house of Gemini, which is about your personal resources, and the moon is in your 8th house of shared resources, or money from your partner or money from others. So can you reflect back to the new moon in Sagittarius on the 13th of December, 2023, because anything that may have started around that time might be coming to fruition. And there's something illuminating around houses of intimacy, the house of intimacy, which is the 8th house of Sagittarius here, things that you're having to share with a partner, some sort of giving and taking, balance, some sort of working things out with truth and honesty, because Sagittarian is all about being truthful, but also a sense of freedom may be necessary, because there's a sense that Sagittarians don't like to be confined or restricted in any way. Something coming to fruition here that's being illuminated around personal relationships or money or resources, sharing resources with a partner here. So that's what's been highlighted. Let's have a look. We've got your ruler, both Venus, your ruler of Taurus, is right at the anaretic degree here, as we were mentioning in the chart of the full moon, conjoined with Jupiter, the ruler of this lunation. This is in your first house here, the first house of Taurus. This is Venus rules Taurus. This is the house where Jupiter has been for the last year, encouraging you to really expand your sense of your own self, your own identity, your own self-expression, your psychology, expanding your mindset. And Venus is here adding support for trying to be harmonious, the way that you come across and interact with others. And also we've had a recent conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus around the 20th of April, beginning a new 14-year cycle of something new to unfold here for you. So yeah, there's some sense of growth and expansion, and actually very soon Jupiter will be moving into your second house. There's going to be a Gemini party, and Gemini is related to your second house of resources, finances. So when Jupiter moves in here on the 26th, you can see the sun has just moved in a couple of days ago. Sun moves about 1 degree a day, and now is at 2 degrees 55, maybe 2 or 3 days ago. Jupiter will be moving in around the 26th of May. Venus will be moving in, and Mercury, which rules Gemini, will be moving into this area of your personal resources. So this is going to really activate and charge up this area of your life, maybe believing in yourself, using your own skills. If you have planets around 0 to 5 degrees, maybe, of these mutable signs in your birth chart, this may be even stronger for you. So just have a look at that. Contact me for a personal reading if you'd like to look into your chart and how the heavens are activating different areas of your chart, because not everything in your personal chart is activated at one time. So I hope that's helpful for you, Gemini. Let me know, make a comment below, press subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll move on now to the next sign, which is Gemini. Hey there, Gemini. Ascendant if you know your time of birth, sun or moon if you don't. You can listen for all three of your astrological triad, see what resonates with you. So you are one of the mutable houses, so you are one of the signs that may feel this full full moon in Sagittarius more dynamically, because the houses 1, 7, which is opposite the first house, 4 and 10 are the dynamic houses, the angles of the chart, the kentrons, the pivot points. And you have the sun at 2 degrees Gemini, just recently moved in your first house, which is the helm of the ship. Mercury's joy, about your identity, about your self-expression, your psychology, your body, your vitality, opposite this moon in Gemini, moon in Sagittarius, opposite Gemini at 2 degrees 55, in the house of your intimate relationships, your personal relationships. They can be romantic, or they can represent people that you work with, or they can represent your clientele. So if you cast your mind back, Gemini, 6 months to the new moon in Sagittarius on the 13th of December last year, 2023, maybe the seeds that were planted around then could be starting to grow and come into a sense of fruition, a visibility, a point of culmination or endings, or certainly be more prevalent for you at this time. So, yeah, that's important. And let's see, your ruler, Mercury, is in your 12th house, the hidden house, where you've got a lot of reflections, a lot of deep inner workings going on, dream work, personal energies, spiritual inner practices, perhaps deep reflections. Mercury is in Taurus, but there's going to be a Gemini party here, Gemini. You'll be feeling activated. You'll be feeling more enthused, restless, excited, lots of ideas flying around, because Gemini is the mutable air sign related to the mind. All the air signs are related to sharing ideas, and Gemini loves the good debate. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the trickster, the messenger, the merchant, the psychopomp, the traveler, the communicator. He's Hermes, god of travel. And he is in Taurus, but he will be joining the Gemini party soon, because Jupiter, the ruler of this lunation, is in your 12th house. He's been encouraging you for deep expansion in your inner world, reflecting on your inner world. And he is just about to move into Gemini in, I think it's 3 days' time, on the 26th of May, for 1 year, because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the whole zodiac. 12 signs of the zodiac, 1 sign for each year. And he will be moving into your first house of Gemini with a sense of real growth and expansion and self-belief and optimism, exaggeration, all things that are expansive and hopeful. On a more cautionary note, Jupiter can tend to inflate and overindulge. So when Jupiter is in the first house, you could possibly inflate and expand your waistline, because you love to indulge and enjoy things, have fun. So being aware of that, you could also put on more muscle. Being aware of limitations and not being too excessive is quite a good thing to do when Jupiter's in your first house. But there's going to be a Gemini party, Jupiter, Venus moving in from the anaretic degree, 29 degrees, and Mercury will join there too. So this is just going to really infuse and fire up this first house of your mind and body and self-expression. So I hope that's helpful for you, Gemini. Let me know how that feels. Like, subscribe, share. Thank you very much. Hey there, Cancer ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. As we can see, this full moon in Sagittarius is happening here in your 6th house of Sagittarius at 2 degrees 55 minutes, opposite the sun at 2 degrees Gemini 55 minutes in your 12th house. So can you cast your mind back, Cancerians, to the 13th of December 2023, when there was a new moon in Sagittarius? There could have been something that you had ideas for, to plant seeds of some new beginning, some project, something different that you wanted to bring to fruition, to grow, to aspire to bring to a reality, which now may be coming to a sense of being visible at this full moon in Sagittarius 6 months later. So it is in your house of work and service, because the 6th house is about your everyday duties, ritual, routines, mundane chores. In ancient astrology, it was known to be the house of servants. So in modern day times, such as now, It's about our sense of service to others, our work life. Sagittarians love to be free. They don't like to be hemmed in. They love the great outdoors. They don't like restrictions. They love freedom and nature, activity, movement, all of those things. So the moon here is suggesting something coming to fruition in your everyday life. It can be to do with self-sacrifice, sometimes this house, and it's to do with your physical and your mental health as well. So just reflecting on how that resonates with you, with this moon highlighting this area of your life. And when the sun is in Gemini, this is highlighting a very private area of your life, the 12th house of Saturn's joy. The moon is in Mars's joy, which is the lesser malefic in ancient times, and the 12th house is Saturn's joy, the most distant place, the most distant planet. So at this time of year, when it feels quite bright and sociable, there may be some deeper inner reflections that you're having to process behind the scenes to make sense of all your ideas. And there will be many, many ideas when the sun is in Gemini, lots of versatility, lots of movement, changeability, flexibility, toing and froing. That's very much what would happen in Gemini. That's the nature of Gemini, Mercury being the ruler. And the moon rules you, Cancer, and the moon is in Sagittarius, as I'm saying, in the 6th house, which may be bringing some topics of your own health, work life to the fruition. The ruling planet of the lunation is Jupiter. Jupiter is at the anaretic degree of 29 degrees Taurus, conjoined with Venus. So there's something that maybe has been highlighted, something new maybe has recently happened, a new cycle where Jupiter was conjoined with Uranus, which was on the 20th of April this year, beginning a new 14-year cycle of something unexpected within your groups and friendships that support you, your long-term plans. Jupiter and Venus are making a beautiful conjunction here at the time of this full moon, which can harmonize something, bring together, be peaceful and expansive and beneficial to you. But there's going to be a Gemini party with all the planets except Uranus moving into the Gemini here. Jupiter moves in on the 26th of May, and Venus joins and Mercury joins, and Mercury rules Gemini. So, behind the scenes, you may have lots of ideas that's just going to be overstimulating you to some degree. So make sure that you take some time for yourself to ground and diffuse all the mental stimulation. But yeah, and it will be, bringing up a time of great reflections when Jupiter spends one whole year in this sign of Gemini after the 26th of May. So I hope that's helpful for you. Cancerian ascendants. Moving on now. Here we have the chart for Leo ascendants, sun or moon. If you don't know your time of birth, contact me if you'd like a private reading. This brings the chart to life, and where you can see how different areas of your chart are being activated. This is a map of the heavens. If I was looking at your own chart, your chart would be in the center. The map of the heavens would be going around the outside, and we could see what was being activated in which area of life for you. But this is a general reading. All astrology readings without your personal birth chart are a general reading. So for Leo ascendant, sun or moon, we can see that the full moon in Sagittarius at 2 degrees 55 is in your 5th house of Venus's joy, opposite the sun at 2 degrees 55 Gemini in the 11th house of Jupiter's joy. So these are really quite beautiful areas of life because it's about pleasures and fun and enjoyment. It's about children. It's about creativity. It's about where you find your joy, this 5th house of Sagittarius here. And perhaps if you cast your mind back to the 13th of December, 2023, there was a new beginning happening in this 5th house related to love and pleasures and children, which has maybe come into fruition now, these 6 months later. And the sun is up in your 11th house, which is about your hopes and your wishes. And it's also about your friendship groups that support you. So the sun will be here for the next month, having moved in recently, a couple of days ago, because the sun moves just 1 degree a day And there's going to be a Gemini party. Keep mentioning the Gemini party, but it is true. Jupiter is currently at the last degree, 29 degrees, 26 minutes in Gemini. Venus is conjoined in Gemini. This is in your visible house of praxis, action, visibility, public status. So for you, Leos, perhaps this is going to be bringing a much more positive glow to your public reputation, because Venus is about union, ease, coming together, peace, harmony, agreements and union. And Jupiter is about hope and optimism and benefits and opportunities. So there's this beautiful conjunction at the full moon in this visible house of public visibility, your social status, what you're seen to do in the public eye, and your vocations. And recently there was the conjunction of Jupiter and Uranus up here around the 20th of April. So that began a new 14-year cycle of something unexpected that breaks the mold, a curved ball, but something that can actually be beneficial for the future happening up here in this public house, which can be related to your vocations and your occupation here. So maybe there's something new happening for you up here. But yeah, I hope that's helpful for you, Leo Ascendants. Let me know if anything resonates below. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, buy me a coffee. Not necessary, but you can. Yeah, and let me know if that resonates with you. So moving on, I'll move the chart on now to Virgo Ascendants, Sun or Moon. Well, Virgo, you are one of the mutable signs of the zodiac. As I was saying, if you have, excuse me, any planets between 0 and 5 degrees of the mutable signs in your birth chart, you may be feeling this full moon more strongly. But we can see Virgo is the first house here. If you have planets in your first house of Virgo, or if you have any planets in your 7th house of Pisces, you may feel this quite strongly just talking to anybody. But Virgo, using the whole sign house system, the moon in Sagittarius at full moon is 2 degrees, 55 minutes in your house of home and family. This is about your roots, your resting place. It's about ancestry. It can be the land. It can be about property. It's where you come to rest, but it's really related to your family and your roots. And it's opposite the sun in your visible house of praxis, the 10th house, which is directly above at midday in Gemini. So this opposition of being seen and energy that's come into fruition that may have started around the new moon on the 13th of December 2023. Any new seeds of beginning, new ideas, new projects, they may now be coming to a sense of building to a point of visibility, completion, or even an ending point, with this full moon in Sagittarius activating your 4th house. So maybe for some of you, there's a sort of sense of restlessness and feeling a bit hemmed in, but something is building. Sagittarians love their freedom. They love the outdoors. They don't like constraints. They can be restless, and so can the Gemini energy, because they are both mutable signs of the zodiac. So that's what's going on for you there. And Jupiter, the ruler of this lunation, this full moon, he is at 29 degrees, conjoined with Venus, goddess of love, beauty. Some harmony here. This is an aspect which can bring some peace, ease, good fortune, and expansion in your 9th house, which is related to your higher mind. It's the house of God. It's related to your belief system, truth finding, can be to do with further education or overseas travels. If you've got anything going on to do with courts and laws, it's also related to solar figures that make decisions, like judges, priests, gurus, those sorts of people. And there was recently a conjunction with Uranus and Jupiter in this house around the 20th of April, beginning a new 14-year cycle. So there's something unexpected that's maybe unfolding for you. But at the time of this full moon, there's this potential for some harmony and positivity, growth, etc. Because soon, Virgo, ascendant, sun or moons, you're going to have a Gemini party, which is going to activate this 10th house here, because the sun's already moved in. Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury are also going to be activating your 10th house, which may bring some energies to either your work life, your occupation, your careers, vocations, and your social reputation. So see how that unfolds and let me know in the comments below if any of that resonates for you. Thanks for listening. Moving on, we've got Libra. Libra ascendant, if you know your time of birth, sun or moon. If you don't, let me just draw across the axes of this full moon. The moon is in your 3rd house of Saggitarius, which is in ancient astrology known as the house of the goddess, the joy of the moon. In Sagittarius at 2 degrees 55, opposite the sun at 2 degrees 55 Gemini. At full moon, there's always opposition to wherever the sun is. At new moon, there's a conjunction where the sun and the moon are exactly the same degree and minute. So there's an opposition here activating the 3rd house, which is to do with your communications. It's as I was saying, it was known to be the house of goddess. In ancient times, it's about friendship groups, but it's also about siblings and distant relatives. It's also about things like online presence if you use social media. It's about journeys around the home, something busy coming to fruition here around topics around your neighborhood. Maybe something that you planted seeds for, a new beginning, new projects, new beginnings of instigating something different for yourself around the 13th of December 2023 is now coming to a sense of you can see what's building, or it's coming to visibility and completion around your neighborhood. Might be to do with sibling relationships, aunts and uncles, but it also can be bringing something to the fore and full visibility and illumination around communications. And the sun is in the 9th house of God, the joy of the sun, in that opposition. And you've been having, well, let's just look, the ruler of the Sagittarian full moon is Jupiter, up here conjoined with Venus, the greater benefic planet and the lesser benefic planet. These are ancient astrological terms meaning beneficial, benefic, beneficial. They are conjoined at 29 degrees. So there's potential harmony around the topics of shared resources, because the 8th house where these planets are is to do with what you share with your partner, or your sense of karmic debt, what you do, what you bring to the table, what you do in a relationship, or it can be about benefits that come in from others, like grants, rebates, unexpected windfalls of finances, or support from others that hold you in high esteem. So there's this lovely conjunction there. And there was recently a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, bringing some unexpected events which can unfold in the next 14-year cycle. That was around the 20th of April. So something might be unfolding here in this 8th house here. But soon there's going to be a Gemini party, because Venus and while Jupiter moves into Gemini on the 26th of May, Venus will join, and so will Mercury. Uranus is still going to be there till 2025, I think. So there's going to be this activation of your 9th house for you, Libra. And so I don't know whether that means more studies, or more long distance travel, or more interest in different philosophies, studies of some sort. It's about teaching or learning, but it's about your understanding and belief systems as well. So see how that unfolds. And Venus is the ruler of you as well. Venus rules Taurus, and Venus also rules Libra. So she is in this beautiful conjunction. There is a slight stressful potential at times with the anaretic degree. When any planet's at the 29th degree, it's trying to get to the next sign. So sometimes there can be a little bit of a frictitious energy, a little stressful point of energy there. But, generally there's a blend of beautiful energies here between these benefic planets. So I hope that's helpful for you, Libra and ascendants. Moving on now to Scorpio. Hi, Scorpio ascendants, sun or moon. This is across this full moon in Sagittarius at 2 degrees 55 minutes, is across the houses of resources, your personal resources and your shared resources. So the full moon in Sagittarius is in your second house of your own personal resources. So it's highlighting, topics around your own abilities with money, what your skills are, how you can create security, what you appreciate, what you take into your body. And it's opposite the sun in the 8th house of shared resources, which is being activated at this Gemini season here. So can you think back to the 13th of December, approximately 2023, 6 months ago, there was a new moon in Sagittarius, which may have been a starting point of something different around your own skills or money and how you dealt with those things. Because now, 6 months later, the moon is built up to the fullness of the full moon, reflecting the light of the sun, bringing those topics to a sense of illumination and completion, perhaps endings. But there is a sense with Sagittarius is a restless fire sign, loving freedom, space, independence, not liking to be hemmed in. There's a sense of you wanting to do things on your own terms, no doubt. And Jupiter is in your 7th house of personal relationships, conjoined with Venus. So this could bring some sense of growth, optimism, opportunities, blending together, something harmonious. It can be about personal relationships. If you're not in a personal relationship and that's not on the cards for you and you're not looking for that, it can also relate to your clientele who you serve in your work. It's the other people that you interact with. And there is a new beginning, which has probably started around the 20th of April when Jupiter was conjoined with Uranus, starting a new cycle of something unexpected that can unfold over the next 14 years. But also there's going to be the Gemini party because the sun's just gone in here into Gemini, into your 8th house, about shared resources, other people's money, the esteem of others, how people view you, money that can come in from other sources other than your own income, because the 2nd house is about your own income and your own money. This is money that comes in from others. And you're going to have Jupiter moving in here on the 26th of May for 1 year, because Jupiter spends 1 whole year in each sign of the zodiac, taking it round to 12 signs of the zodiac, because Jupiter's cycle is a 12-year cycle to complete the whole zodiac. So Jupiter and Venus are going to be in Gemini, and Mercury will join Gemini as the rest of the planets there, making a stellium in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. So it's really going to be quite a busy time of lots of ideas and lots of thoughts around these topics of shared resources. So I hope that's helpful for you, Scorpios. So now moving on, not copy. Sagittarius. Well, Sagittarius, hi there. Sagittarius, ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. Look below, actually. I usually put a website where you can actually cast your chart if you know your time of birth using free data. I use astro.com. There's also AstroSeek. There's Cafe Astrology. I'm sure there's plenty more. And I've got teaching videos on how to cast your chart on my videos and blogs on my website. There's about 3 or 4 videos there at the bottom of the page where it leads you through how to cast your chart once you've got your birth data, place, time, and date, place, and crucially time of birth. That gives you your ascendant, which changes every 2 hours. So Sagittarians, you're one of these mutable signs of the zodiac. So you will feel this full moon in Sagittarius in your 1st house at 2 degrees 55 minutes strongly, because it's all about you. It's about, the 1st house is about your sense of self, your identity, your mindset, your philosophy, your vitality, how you view the world, how you come across to others. And yeah, it likes to be expressive, fiery, free, always searching, always trying to learn, warm, fun, changeable, adaptable. So it's really bringing up something around your sense of self-expression and truth, expressing your truth, being you, and letting that shine. And this could be bringing up the culmination of the new moon, which began on the 13th of December 2023, bringing these topics to a fullness, to completion, maybe to an ending point, a culmination point anyway, shining the light about you and your self-expression. And the sun is opposite in Gemini, 2 degrees Gemini, 55 minutes. At full moon, the sun is always opposite the moon. At new moon, the sun and the moon are exactly conjunct to the degree and minute in the same sign. So that's one way of learning if you're new to astrology. So the sun at this time of year, Gemini season, is always going to be activating your personal relationships, which is in Gemini. And you've had Jupiter, the ruler of you, of this lunation, of this full moon in Sagittarius, has been in your 6th house of Taurus for 1 year, and in 3 days' time, excuse me, on the 26th of May, that was my phone, sorry about that. On the 26th of May, Jupiter will be moving into your 7th house of Gemini, activating topics around your relationships, your personal relationships, or those that you serve in the public eye, your clientele, for 1 year, bringing some benefits and some expansion, some growth. And Venus will also be moving into Gemini, very flirtatious, and Mercury will also be moving into Gemini. There's a Gemini party going to be happening soon for everybody, and it will depend on your ascendant, and I use the whole sign house system here. I have no intercepted houses. The whole sign house system is very easy to follow. I have used different house systems personally. I was taught using an equal house system, which, you know, cuts your chart in half wherever the degree is, but that's your first house. Then I changed to Placidus when I did another astrology course with a friend, Fiona Morris. And then most recently, when I've studied ancient astrology with Adam Ellenbass, Nightlight Astrology, I have gone over to whole sign house system. And it's quite interesting when you cast your chart. I'm going off on a tangent, but it's quite interesting. Casting your chart using different house systems can give you a different view on your chart, because the planets can be shifted into different areas of life. So their expressions, where they express their energies, are seen to be in different areas of your life quite often. And it's like there can be truth in all of them. So for me, it's like looking through a gemstone, through a different facet of a gemstone, and just seeing what the planets show and how they indicate their energies in different areas of your life. So play around with it, see what you like. But I've sort of settled now with the whole sign house system. And when people talk about intercepted houses, my brain can't cope with it anymore, because I've adapted my mindset a couple of times already, and I'm quite happy just to stick with this whole sign. See what you do. It depends on how you've been taught, or, you know, what feels right for you. But certainly I think there can be truth in all of it. So I digress. Full moon Sagittarius, activating your first house of you and your self-expression. And over the next year, Jupiter will be highlighting your personal relationships or relationships with others. So good luck with that. I hope that was helpful. Let's move on now to Capricorn. I'm ad-libbing. I usually spend hours doing lots of notes, and I've decided just to ad-lib a bit more. I notice that some astrologers don't even bother going through interpretations for all the signs. So this is my way of offering some more knowledge in a quick way that doesn't take up my whole day. So I hope you're finding it helpful. And yeah, thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, comment below if you like my videos, to encourage me to share more. I do hope to make this my career for the future as I become an elder, a maga in the queen. I'm in the queen of, is it the second spring? I'm in the queen of autumn. I am a post-menopausal woman, a mother, a grandmother, a lover occasionally. Yeah, I'm many things to many people. And yes. Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so sorry, I've totally gone off track there. It's the end of this recording, and I've also done an astrology reading for somebody today, so my brain is getting tired, but thank you for bearing with me. Capricorn ascendant, sun or moon, this lunation is happening in your 12th house of Sagittarius at 2 degrees Sagittarius, 55 minutes, in opposition to the sun in the 6th house of Gemini at 2 degrees, 55 minutes. So the moon in Sagittarius in the 12th house is in a very, very private, personal, hidden, secret area of your life. It's the house which was known in ancient astrology as the place of Saturn's joy. And when we go around the zodiac, which starts at the 9 o'clock position, we go anti-clockwise when we read through the signs of the zodiac: Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So by the time you get to this 12th house, this is away from the helm of the ship where we have control, and it's more hidden. So, you know, there's deep reflections perhaps that you're having to process behind the scenes when you're on your own in places of retreat, away from the public eye. It can be that you're working on yourself on a deeper spiritual level. It is the hidden house. It can represent working with others in a place of compassion, like behind the scenes places. It can be like retreats, hospitals, hospices, libraries, prisons, anywhere, ashrams, anywhere that's not, you know, open to the public. It's somewhere private where we do things behind the scenes. So perhaps around the 13th of December, Capricorns, there was things going on. You started something new. And now this full moon 6 months later is bringing this fruition from the new moon in Sagittarius to full moon in Sagittarius, but it's behind the scenes. So what projects were you maybe thinking about or starting 6 months ago that are coming to fruition now? Maybe you can reflect upon that and see if any of that resonates with you. And the ruler of the moon in Sagittarius is here in Taurus, 29 degrees. Jupiter's at 29 degrees conjoined with Venus. There's something quite pleasurable about this because Venus is in Venus's joy, this 5th house of pleasures of Taurus that she rules. There is a beautiful, lovely aspect of these greater benefic planet, Jupiter, the lesser benefic planet, Venus, conjoined together at 29 degrees, harmonizing, expanding, bringing beauty, love, appreciation, opportunities in this house, which is related to love, pleasures, entrepreneurship, creativity, romance, whatever you find pleasurable. There's something beautifully possible around this full moon with these benefics. There is a tiny bit of tension with the anaretic degree when planets are at the 29th degree. They're trying to get to the next sign. They're not quite there. So there can be a little bit of something a little bit fictitious or a little bit sparky or a little bit tense. But the beautiful energies of these benefic planets are conjoined, enhancing something potentially. And you did have a recent conjunction with Jupiter in this 5th house of pleasures, love, romance, creativity, entrepreneurship, children, around the 20th of April, beginning a new cycle. And there is going 14-year cycle. And there's going to be a Gemini party. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The sun has recently moved into Gemini in your 6th house. This is your everyday life, your work, your service related to your health and what you do for others. It can be about self-sacrifice. It's a busy house of mentality, lots of ideas, communications, journeys, travels. And the sun will be joined with Jupiter on the 26th of May, and Jupiter spends one whole year in this sign of Gemini. Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the whole zodiac, spends 1 year in each sign, and now is at the 29th degree, anaretic degree. Jupiter will be moving into this house, bringing some sense of expansion, opportunities, good fortune, especially if you're born in the daytime, because Jupiter belongs to the daytime sect and will be there for a year. Venus will be joining into the house of Gemini, your 6th house. And Mercury, that rules Gemini, will also be activating this house. So you're going to have a real busy time while the sun and all these other planets are aspecting, transiting the 6th house of Gemini. And Saturn, your ruler, is in your 3rd house of local environment, communications, related to siblings, short journeys. Saturn likes to set boundaries, and take on responsibility and learn mastery. So he's your ruler in your third house here of Pisces, and he'll be there right through till 2025. He's going retrograde quite soon. But I hope that's helpful for you, Capricorns. Get in touch if you'd like a personal reading. I find it very, very exciting to share people's birth charts with them. It's my pleasure to introduce the cosmic world and your natal blueprint of the heavens that you have to live with in this lifetime, so that you can recognize your skills, your talents, and where challenges may lie, to enable you to walk your path more consciously and empowered and aware, self-aware. So it's a gift that I love to share with others. And I am very reasonable at this stage. I'm newly qualified. I've been practicing for a couple of years. If you go to a qualified practice in professional astrologer, you can pay £200 to £300. My current charge is only £85 for a full reading, and I spend hours and hours working and looking into your chart so I can help share it with you. So get in touch if you'd like a reading. Message me below or look at my website and contact me. Thank you. Okay, here we are, Aquarius, ascendant, sun or moon, if you don't know your time of birth. We have this lunation, this full moon in Sagittarius, activating your 11th house up here. The 11th house is Jupiter's joy. It's about your long-term hopes and wishes. It can be about groups and friendships, like your tribe, like a family that support you. In ancient times, this 11th house was known to be the house of allies and benefactors. So it's an old-fashioned term, really, but basically groups of people that support you. At 2 degrees 55 minutes Sagittarius. And can you reflect back, Aquarians, on what was happening for you on the 13th of December, roughly 2023? Because there was a new moon in this house, this 11th house of your long-term wishes, goals, and also groups of friends. And 6 months later, from the new moon in Sagittarius, this is the culmination, the building, the fruition, the ending point, perhaps, or where everything is being illuminated now for you in this house, which was known as Jupiter's joy. And the sun in Gemini is at 2 degrees 55 minutes Gemini, in the place which was known as Venus's joy. So these are beautiful houses. They're the benefic houses, as I was talking about Jupiter here being conjoined with Venus. These are at the anaretic degree, the 29 degree, almost into the next sign. It's a critical degree before you get, or just trying to get there. So it can be a little bit tense, a little bit stressful, but the beautiful energies of these benefic planets, Jupiter and Venus, is offering you something. And it's in your house of home and family, the 4th house. So during this full moon in Sagittarius, which is activating your groups or your long-term wishes, with the sun in your house of Venus's joy, about your pleasures during this season of Gemini, where the sun is in Gemini for a month, that's going to be a busy house, because there's going to be a Gemini party with Jupiter moving in quite soon on the 26th of May, joined by Venus and Mercury, which rules Gemini. There's going to be lots of activity going on around either creativity, romance, love, fun, sport, pleasures, children. All of those things are going to be stimulated, but Jupiter will be highlighting that house for 1 year, because Jupiter takes 12 years to go around the whole zodiac. Jupiter's at 29 degrees of 30 and has been here for a whole year, and is moving in on the 26th of May to activate your 5th house of Gemini. And recently you've had a conjunction in your house of home, family, roots and ancestry, that to do with the land and property, perhaps. You've had a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus on the 20th of April, which has begun a new 14-year cycle, something expansive, unexpected, breaking the mold, liberating, awakening around home and family has happened. So what's unfolding for you there, Aquarians? Leave me a message below. Let me know if any of that resonates. And thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, and share if you can. So now moving on to the very last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, patient Pisces. If you've listened to it all, I doubt if you have. Why would you? Unless you're really interested in astrology and how I'm delineating my interpretations. So here we have Pisces. Let me get my annotate tool. Thank you for waiting if you have listened all the way through. we have this full moon. You are one of the mutable signs, Pisces. So the full moon is activating your 10th house of public status, the house of praxis, public visibility, maybe to do with what you're seen to do in the public eye. It's about your reputation, your vocations, your occupation perhaps, or what you're seen to do in the public eye. This full moon in Sagittarius is really energizing and bringing topics to completion that may have started around the 13th of December 2023, when there was a new moon up here in this 10th house of Sagittarius. And at full moon, 6 months later, all of these energies that have been building, germinating, come into fruition now, to completion, or at least, visibility, but sometimes an ending point at full moon. But it is being fully illuminated in this area of Sagittarius, which is related to your house of public status and what you're seen to do. And it's opposite your home and family house, which is the Gemini house here, Pisces. So at this Gemini season, topics around home and family are going to be highlighted every year. They'll be highlighted at this time of year because the sun takes a month to move through Gemini, and moved in a couple of days ago. The sun moves about 1 degree a day for the 30 degrees of a month. So we're at 2 degrees, 55 minutes. So pretty much 3 days ago, the sun moved in. And soon there's going to be a Gemini party. Basically, the ruler of this lunation, Jupiter, rules the Sagittarian moon. And Jupiter is beautifully conjoined with this lovely conjunction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, harmony, and pleasures. She's in your 3rd house, as is Jupiter. Jupiter's been gracing your 3rd house of Taurus for the last year and is about to move into your 4th house of home and family, land and property. So perhaps for some of you, Pisces, ascendant, sun or moon, there's going to be an expansion, growth, or opportunities around property, the land, or something around home and family that's going to get enhanced over the next year. But there will be a Jupiter party because Venus is also, Gemini party, because Venus is also going to move in to Gemini, as is Mercury, who rules Gemini, activating lots of ideas, lots of restless, changeable potential, lots of spinning plates and just thinking about different things and bringing things together and sharing ideas and toing and froing, because Gemini is the sign of the twins, and there's always the duality of bouncing ideas, toing and fro, sharing ideas, debate, fun. It's frivolity, it's flirtatious. The Venus and Gemini energy will be anyway. So that's all happening for you, Pisces. And recently you've had a conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, which can, these energies of expansion, breaking down old ways, awakening, something unexpected, something new around your local environment, your neighborhood. This is a new cycle that's probably starting to unfold for the next 14 years, breaking the mold, breaking free, changing things, rebelling, awakening. There's something that's happened. Might be to do with your sibling relationships or distant relatives, but it's also about communications in your local environment and neighborhood. So that's all going on for you also at the time of this full moon. So that's just a wee general, I'm going to stop there. That's a wee general interpretation. Am I still recording? Yes. For all the signs of the zodiac at this full moon in Sagittarius. So I hope that's helpful for you. Thanks for listening. Send me a message, like and subscribe if you enjoy my offerings here on YouTube. And I send you blessings. And the positive things about Sagittarius is that sense of hope, optimism, growth, expansion, widening the mind, breadth of vision, aiming our arrow high into the heavens, seeking to understand and send out positivity to the world, and from a place of warmth and general sharing and recognition of others as well. So thanks for listening. I'm Debby, www.celestialastrologyhealing.co.uk. Have a look below in the links for how to cast your chart using the whole sign house system, and my videos and blogs are on my website. I'll send a few links below. Bye for now.